In this video, we're gonna go ahead and create the project and add the resources. So just go ahead and open the Android Studio. And first, let me tell you that sometimes a new update for Android Studio is available, so we can update some of our Android SDK packages. So here at the bottom, you can see this configure. If you just click on it, you will see the update section, check for updates. And if I click on it, it's going to say checking for plugin updates or Android SDK packages and all the features that need to be updated. And it's going to check for those updates. And if there is one available, it's going to show us those updates. So for example, here, a system image is available for Android 9 or Android Q. So I can go ahead and download this update now by just clicking on this update now, or I can just click on remind me later, or I can just ignore this update and later I can open the Android SDK manager and update this SDK package manually. So now let's just start a new Android Studio project and then here choose the empty activity and then click on next. So here we need to give our application a name. So the name of our application is going to be my.sap. And you can specify the package name and the save location path and make sure that the language is Java. And for this project, we're going to use the API 16 Android 4.1 Jelly Bean as the minimum API level, or it is going to be the minimum or the oldest operating system, Android operating system that can run our application. And according to the statistics, our application will run on approximately 99.6 of devices out there. So it's a very good number. Okay, now let's just go ahead and click on finish. So it's gonna set up the project for us. We need to wait a little bit here so that the configuration is finished. So first and foremost, we're gonna add an icon to our application because the default icon is not that exciting. So let me show you the icon of the application when it runs. I'm just gonna click on this run button and I'm gonna choose an emulator. So I'm gonna choose this Pixel XL API 29 and I'm gonna click on this OK button. So here it is, the application running on the emulator. Now I'm gonna click on this home button and I'm gonna go to the applications and here we should see the icon of our application. So as you can see, it's not that cool. Let's add a new icon to our application. So when we go to our applications inside our device, we see a cool image, a cool icon for our application. So let's go back to Android Studio. And here, first you should open the project pane at the left side. So if you don't have this project pane open, at the top, you can just click on View, Tool Windows, and then Project. Or you can use the shortcut here. So because I'm using Mac, it is Command 1, and if you're using Windows, it should be Alt 1. Okay, now here inside this project pane, you should see this res folder. If you open it, you will see some other folders here. The icon of our application goes to this MIP map folder. So if you open it, you see this IC launcher and this IC launcher round. And you can see this number 6 inside the parentheses. So this number 6 here means that we've got different versions of this icon for different devices with different resolutions, so that the icon of our app looks good on all devices, not just on one device. So now I want to let you know about these unknown symbols. So for example, what is this HDPI inside the parentheses, or this MDPI? XHDPI or other symbols here. We should learn about these symbols so we know what we are doing. So just go ahead and open your web browser and search for developer.android.com/training/multiscreen/screen densities. So if you scroll down here, you will see this provide alternative bitmaps. And here is going to show you some information about these symbols. So for example, here it says LDPI is for resources for low density screens. MDPI, medium density screens. HDPI, high density screens. XHDPI for extra high density screens. XXHDPI for extra high density screens, and XXXHDPI is for extra high density users. So you can see that we've got different resolutions. So we also got the no DPI, resources for all densities. These are density independent resources. The system does not scale resources tagged with this qualifier, regardless of the current screen's density. And we also got the TV DPI. And the main reason that we need these density qualifiers is that our resources should look good on the newest devices as well as the oldest devices. So in this way, an image that looks perfect on a low density screen will also look perfect on an extra high density screen. So that's the beauty of these density qualifiers. We can use them to our advantage. Let's go back to our Android Studio. So make sure to download the resources of the DICE app from the resources section of the current lecture. And then go ahead and open the project pane, res, and then MIP map. So here I'm gonna right click on this res folder, and I'm gonna go to new and then click on image asset. And here we've got a new section. It's gonna open a new window for us so we can choose an icon for our application. So make sure that the icon type is launcher icons, adaptive, and legacy. The name should be IC_launcher, and here we've got 3 tabs: the foreground layer, the background layer, the legacy. So just choose the foreground layer, and then here the asset type should be image. And now we should choose an image from our computer. So the path is going to specify where you want to get the image. I'm just gonna click on this folder, and now I need to specify the image that I want to set as the icon of the application. So just go to the desktop, and wherever you have saved the resources of the DICE app, you can go to that location and find the icon. So mine is in the desktop, and I need to go to this Android Java course, DICE app, and this DICE app res. So here I have the resources. I'm gonna choose this app icon PNG, and I'm gonna click on open. When I do that, you can see that the foreground layer changes to my desired icon. And here the layer name is IC Launcher Foreground. Make sure that the asset type is image. And we also have this trim section. So if you want to, you can change these settings in order to see the changes here. So for example, I can just click on yes for this trim, and now we can see that the foreground layer changes. Or I can resize my icon if I want to, but I prefer this 100 for the resize, or for the size of my application. And then here, just click on this background layer. So now I can also change the background layer of my icon. So you can see that the background layer is this green grid here. So if you don't like this background layer, you can change it. And you can, for example, click on this color and change the color here. So I'm gonna choose a blue in order to see what happens, right? Or I can choose the color white and see what happens now. So here it is, the background layer. Don't worry about the legacy, just leave the legacy as default, and that's it. But if you want to click on this legacy, the legacy icon is for the APIs less than or equal to API 25. And for example, here you can change the shape to circle. So now the shape of the legacy icon changes to a circle. You can change these settings in order to see what happens. But that's okay for our icon, and I'm gonna click on next. So here it's gonna show us the output directories. It says that it's gonna save our icon to this directory, main, res, and here it's gonna change, for example, the values for the background here. we also have the MIP map folder that I told you about. Our icons will go to this MIP map folder for different densities. So for example, it's going to change the MIP map XXX HTTPI, MIP map XX HTTPI, and so on. So when you make sure that everything is okay here, you can click on finish. But notice that there are some files here that its text is red. This means that our icon, our new icon, is going to overwrite the old icon. So that's why our new icon's name is IC Launcher. And if you remember, the Android's default icon name is also IC Launcher. So when you choose the same name for your new icon, it's gonna overwrite the old icon. Okay, so now I'm gonna click on finish. So now it's done. And now if you go to this MIP map folder, IC Launcher, if you click on these images here, for example, this XHTTPI, you can see our new icon. So this means that now if I go ahead and run the program, you will see our new icon appears on the screen. So let me show you the emulator. Notice the current icon of the application. So let's go to the applications, and now we should see our new icon for our application. So here, let me tell you that if you open this project pane, and if you open this app folder, you can see this manifests folder. Just open it and double click on this Android manifest.xml file. This file contains some general information about our application. And one of the important information here is the icon. So for example, inside this application tag, the application tag has this icon attribute. The icon attribute is going to specify the icon of our application. And if you look at the value of this icon attribute, it is actually referring to this MIP map folder and this IC Launcher. So this means that if you have chosen a different name for your icon, you need to specify that name here. Okay, so for example, if the name of your icon is my icon, then you need to put that here. Otherwise, the application won't know where to get the path of your icon, and it won't set an icon for your application when you run it. Okay, so I'm going to change it back to IC Launcher. And also we have this round icon. Make sure that you also specify the correct path for this round icon. Here inside this MIP map folder, we have also this IC Launcher round. You need to also specify a correct path inside this Android manifest.xml file. And we've got also some information, some useful information about our application here. For example, let me show you the emulator. When you run your application, at the top inside this action bar, you'll learn more about this action bar later in this course. But here you can see this My Dice app. This is the label of our application. You can change that name here. So you can click on this label value, and here it is referring to an address. It is referring to the strings.xml file, and it says that the app name is specified there. So I can just go ahead and open the project pane, and I can go to this values folder inside this res folder, and I can click on this strings.xml file. And here we have the name of our application, or the label. I can change this to Dice app. Okay, and if I run the program, you will see that inside the action bar, it's gonna put this name here, the new name, Dice app. Hopefully that makes sense. So in the next video, we're gonna learn how to add the remaining resources to our application. I'm super excited to get to the next lecture.